Good morning, Prepper Nation, and all my YouTubers, and my Facebook family. I went and did my family tree again and started looking at all the people in my family. I went through there and really started looking. 495 years. Us of y'all, my Cherokee brothers, and my Lumbee Indians, and my Catawba Indians. I went through there and looked through that history. I already seen American history books of today. It didn't match nothing. What got me is nobody paid attention to their real history. This is real history. They don't even put this on History Channel. One was John Melton of England, 1620. Off of the Mayflower supply ship. Meaning he was a worker. Or a slave, you want to call him that. Melanoma skin, you know, olive brown or golden color, like the oceans. And some people call them high yellow people or dark skinned people. Dennis Mock, 1670 of Germany. That's where Corbett's come from. Then you got John Larkins, William Moore. See, I got 1620, 1670, 1669. And then I got Jeremiah Clontz of Germany, which is called Jamesklontz. See, he was German. He's actually German Jews. See, I started learning about that American history. I told you, Prepper Nation, I knew my American history pretty darn good. And here's the funny part. Revolutionary War of 1763. These are the patriots in my family. Revolutionary War patriots. The Meltons, the Lincoln, the Moores, then Glantz, which switched over to Clontz. Then we went to the Civil War. Then you got Jamesklontz. Then you got James H. Hurley Clontz here. William Moose. John Lear, George Washington Corbett, and Boston Corbett. Boston was the man who shot Booth. You know, the Mad Hatter, the guy who actually, John Booth killed Abraham Lincoln with a gun, and then Boston Corbett shot him in a barn. They call him the Mad Hatter. He always carried a Bible. They're kin. So was Jamesklontz and Jamesklontz. They got spelt their names different. K means king. Glantz and Clontz both mean the same thing. God's soldiers. Also Jordan, the seventh tribe, or what they call the lost tribes of Israel in Moses' days. But I got a kick out of it, but nobody paid attention to it until I started really looking at the other part. We're going to right here to Captain George Washington Corbett. Did you know if you sat there and you watched them, like I did with my family tree, I've been doing it all this time, man. I'm making wall posters, man. All the way down to my mom and daddy. Now this is Corbett's, man. This is just Corbett's. Pender County, or I'll call it Lumberton. They also in Baden or Bowden. But this is Captain George Washington Corbett. He shot Stonewall Jackson. He was the man that did the friendly fire. He confessed in the newspaper everything, what happened, how they did it, what went wrong. They didn't even put that in there with who shot Stonewall Jackson. Just said, oh, it's a friendly fire. They just couldn't do it. Then when they started talking about what really killed him was the virus, getting sick after being gunshot 3 times. But the main bullet that killed him, they kept saying it was a .357 Magnum or a .44 caliber or a .270 caliber. Bad thing about that, and when I say it was a bad thing about it, is that And here, it tells you everything he did. This guy cried. George Washington Corbett was crying about it. He made captain at that time. The gun is also in Raleigh, North Carolina. See, this is the gun in Raleigh, North Carolina. Do you see that gun? Do you see it over here? You see it? That's the picture. That's the caliber that he used when he shot Stonewall Jackson. That caliber is called a Smithfield Black Powder 58 caliber. Get it right in your history books. It's a 58 caliber Smithfield. You can find it in Raleigh. It kind of made me mad. What got me is all through the Civil War, nobody paid attention to Clontz-Corbett. Didn't pay attention of the Clontzes. Here's the fun part. All of them had brothers that was in the Union. These are all Confederates. Clontz-Corbett shot the man who shot Lincoln. You should have thought about that. He's a Confederate, but yet we was trying to say he was Union, but he was Confederate. Here's the pictures of the days that they had. Look at the pictures. Look at their eyes. Look how badass they was. You don't see no fear in any of them kids' eyes. See? No fear. That one right there I got you looking at, he looks like my uncle. He wants to be like Herman Monster, beat him up. All this is being recorded to let you know that it was George Washington Corbett who shot Stonewall Jackson by accident. And the caliber was a Smithfield, or what they call Springfield 58 caliber black powder. He could load that gun up exactly 3 minutes running. Now I want to know how in the world y'all keep telling them people that he was shot by a 44 or a 357 or a 270 or a 700 milligram gun when they didn't have them guns at that time. That's something you need to learn about history. They lie to you. When the Union won, the Union writes the history book and curses the South. And if I was a black man and I really did my homework, you'd probably find out in North Carolina, they didn't do, but they only, the Union only took over the coast. The rest of the area, they was mixing. There's an old saying, no light, no color. No color, no light. That's cool. I gotta have kids. So I get tired of hearing about that shit. When you're trying to find out this and that. If you think about it, and look at where we are today, we're the same as was back in the old days. Black and white mixing, Asian man mixing. Heck, we got Germans marrying Chinese, Chinese marrying Americans, African American Chinese, African marrying Americans. Don't matter what color. That's the way it was in the old days. Only 1%. You got to think about it. But this is a really bad thing when you think about American history and you pull up 490 years. 490 years of history. My family come through the Mayflower supply ship. Clontz was a monarch. He was a glance. He come through a supply ship also. Moors and them was regular. And you bad thing about it, every one of them men, even today, their kids are preachers. Not one's ever got filthy rich. As a matter of fact, none of them made over $80,000. Think about that. When you talk about history, about who shot Stonewall Jackson, get that right. George Washington Corbett. And the gun is called a Smithfield 58 caliber black powder. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe. There's one history in North Carolina that didn't get deleted or terminated. Thank you. Bye-bye.